I never thought my marriage would end because of a lie. 3 years of dating Amanda culminated in a beautiful proposal at our favorite restaurant. The way her eyes lit up when I presented the ring still warms my heart when I think about it. Her family welcomed me with open arms, especially her mother Patricia, who constantly mentioned how excited she was for grandchildren. We started trying for a baby right after our wedding, but 2 years passed with no success. That was when everything changed. If you have ever been falsely blamed for something that was not your fault, drop a comment below. Let me know where you are watching from. And do not forget to like and subscribe, as I tell you how my mother-in-law labeled me infertile, and my wife stood by her side. My name is Dexter, a 35-year-old software engineer who has been fortunate enough to build a successful career in the tech industry. I met Amanda at a technology conference 5 years ago, where we bonded over our shared passion for innovative solutions and terrible conference coffee. She was 32, brilliant, ambitious, and had the most captivating smile I had ever seen. After our first conversation, I knew I wanted to know everything about her. Our dating period was straight out of a romance novel. Weekend getaways to quiet coastal towns, surprise dinner dates, and long conversations about our dreams and aspirations. After 3 years of building our relationship, I proposed at the restaurant where we had our first date. She said yes without hesitation, and we were married in a warm, intimate ceremony, surrounded by friends and family 6 months later. I first met Amanda's family during Thanksgiving, about a year into our relationship. Her mother, Patricia, a strong-willed 58-year-old elementary school principal, initially seemed impressed by my career achievements and the way I treated her daughter. She would often comment on how successful our children would be with our combined intelligence, a remark that seemed innocent at the time. At our wedding reception, Patricia pulled me aside with a glass of champagne in hand. "Dexter, you are a wonderful addition to our family," she said, with a smile that did not quite reach her eyes. "I cannot wait to hold my first grandchild. Amanda was always meant to be a mother. I hope you two start trying soon." The first months of marriage were blissful. We moved into a spacious 3-bedroom house in a quiet suburb, specifically choosing a place with room for the family we hoped to build. Amanda and I agreed to start trying for a baby right away, but we were not overly concerned about timing. We believed it would happen naturally when the time was right. As we approached our first anniversary, Patricia began calling more frequently with thinly veiled inquiries about any good news to share. Each call left Amanda increasingly anxious. I would often find her staring at negative pregnancy tests with tears streaming down her face. The spontaneity and joy of our intimate life gradually gave way to scheduled attempts dictated by ovulation charts and fertility apps. By the beginning of our second year of marriage, Amanda started directing her frustration toward me. "Maybe we should both get checked out," she suggested one night after another disappointing test result, "just to make sure everything is working properly." The implication stung, but I agreed it was a reasonable next step. It was around this time that I met Jordan, Amanda's cousin, at a family barbecue celebrating her uncle's 60th birthday. Unlike Amanda and Patricia, who were outspoken and assertive, Jordan had a quiet confidence about her. She was 30, single, working as a child psychologist, and seemed genuinely interested in getting to know me beyond superficial family pleasantries. "So you are the famous Dexter," she said, sitting beside me, while I manned the grill. "Amanda talks about you all the time. It is nice to finally put a face to the name." As we chatted about our careers and interests, Patricia approached with a pointed comment that made my stomach drop. "Jordan, did you know Dexter and Amanda have been trying for a baby for almost a year now? I wonder if there might be something wrong with him. The women in our family have never had fertility issues." Jordan looked embarrassed by her aunt's comment and quickly changed the subject, but the seed of doubt had been planted. It was the first clear sign that Patricia had already decided I was the problem. 18 months into our marriage, the tension in our home was palpable. Every monthly disappointment drove Amanda further into despair and me into a defensive corner. I finally convinced her to see a fertility specialist together, though she agreed with obvious reluctance. Dr. Reynolds, a compassionate specialist with 20 years of experience, conducted thorough examinations on both of us. 2 weeks later, we sat in his office as he reviewed the results. "Based on all the tests, both of you appear to be in excellent reproductive health. He explained, showing us charts and numbers that confirmed his assessment. Sometimes conception simply takes time. The stress you are both experiencing could actually be hindering the process. I recommend patience, relaxation, and continuing to try naturally for at least 6 more months. I felt immense relief, but Amanda remained skeptical. "Are you absolutely certain?" she pressed. "Could there be something the tests missed?" The doctor assured us the testing was comprehensive, but suggested we could pursue more specialized testing if we remained concerned after 6 months. As we left his office, I reached for Amanda's hand, but she pulled away, her expression unreadable. What I did not know then was that Patricia had already been planting seeds of doubt in Amanda's mind. Later I discovered she had convinced Amanda that men often received false negative results in fertility testing and that my problem could be more complex than standard tests could detect. 3 weeks after our appointment, Amanda's cousin Taylor let slip at a family gathering that Patricia had been telling everyone about Dexter's fertility issues. My face burned with embarrassment and anger as I realized my private medical information was being distorted and shared throughout Amanda's extended family. The situation reached a breaking point during a dinner at Patricia's house. As we sat around her formal dining table, Patricia casually mentioned to Amanda's Aunt Susan, "It is such a shame about Dexter's problem. Amanda would make such a wonderful mother." I set down my fork with a clatter. "What problem are you referring to, Patricia?" The doctor confirmed that both Amanda and I are perfectly healthy. The table fell silent. All eyes turned to Amanda, waiting for her to defend me. Instead, she studied her plate and said nothing. The car ride home was filled with the heaviest silence I had ever experienced until I finally broke it. "Why did not you say anything? Why did you let your mother talk about me like that?" Amanda exploded. "Because maybe she is right, Dexter. Maybe the doctors missed something. Do you know how humiliating it is to keep telling my family month after month that I am not pregnant? Everyone thinks there is something wrong with me. There is nothing wrong with either of us," I insisted. "Dr. Reynolds said these things take time. We need to be patient." "Easy for you to say," she snapped. "You are not the one being pitied by every woman in your family." 2 days later, I discovered a receipt for a visit to another fertility specialist in Amanda's purse while looking for car keys. The appointment was scheduled for her alone, and the paperwork indicated Patricia had recommended the doctor. When confronted, Amanda admitted her mother had convinced her to seek a second opinion without me. "Mom thinks you might be hiding something," she confessed, unable to meet my eyes. "She says some men cannot accept their limitations." I was devastated by her lack of trust, but even more troubled by Patricia's escalating campaign against me. It seemed she was determined to place the blame squarely on my shoulders regardless of medical evidence to the contrary. During this difficult period, Jordan unexpectedly became a source of support. Having recently moved to our city for a new job, she occasionally stopped by to check on us. Amanda was often too distracted or upset to engage, but Jordan and I would talk over coffee while Amanda retreated to our bedroom or went shopping with her mother. Patricia has always been controlling, Jordan confided during one of these visits. She did the same thing to Amanda's dad before their divorce. Everything was always his fault. One evening, I came home early from work and overheard Amanda on the phone in our bedroom. "I do not know, Mom," she was saying, her voice tired and defeated. "Divorce seems extreme. Yes, I know time is running out for me to have children. Maybe you are right." There was a pause before I heard the words. That shattered my heart. "I suppose I could find someone else. Someone who can actually give me a baby." I retreated silently, unsure how to process the betrayal I had just witnessed. That night I slept in the guest room claiming I had a migraine. Amanda did not question it. The following week, without telling Amanda, I went back to Dr. Reynolds and requested additional fertility testing even more comprehensive than before. The results came back exactly as expected. I was completely fertile, with above-average sperm count and motility. When I showed Amanda the new results, she simply shrugged. "Those tests are not always accurate," she parroted clearly, echoing her mother's words. The woman I had fallen in love with, who had once approached everything with scientific rigor and logical thinking, was now dismissing medical evidence in favor of her mother's unfounded theories. Around this time, Jordan invited me for coffee, saying she needed to discuss something important. We met at a quiet cafe downtown, away from any prying eyes in Amanda's social circle. "I need to tell you something," she said, her expression serious. "Patricia has been telling everyone in the family that you are completely infertile, and possibly knew it before marrying Amanda. She is painting you as someone who tricked her daughter into a marriage, knowing you could never have children." I sat back stunned by the scope of Patricia's deception. "Why would she do this?" Jordan sighed. She always pictured Amanda having a perfect life with perfect children. When it did not happen immediately, she needed someone to blame. "You were the easiest target." 3 days later came the moment that would change everything. Patricia hosted a large family gathering to celebrate her and her husband's 35th wedding anniversary. Nearly 40 relatives were in attendance, including distant cousins and family friends I had never met. I noticed the whispers and sympathetic glances directed my way throughout the evening, but tried to maintain a positive attitude. Amanda had been distant all day, checking her phone frequently and avoiding conversation with me. During dessert, Patricia stood to make what I assumed would be an anniversary speech. Instead, she raised her glass and looked directly at me. "I want to thank everyone for coming tonight," she began. "Family is everything to me, which is why it pains me to see my daughter suffering." She placed a hand on Amanda's shoulder. "As many of you know, Amanda and Dexter have been trying to start a family without success. What you may not know is that we recently discovered the reason." My heart pounded as every eye in the room turned toward me. "Dexter is infertile," Patricia declared, with the confidence of a medical professional. "He cannot give Amanda the children she deserves. As her mother, I cannot stand by and watch her waste her best years with someone who cannot fulfill the most basic function of a husband." I stood up, knocking my chair backward. "That is absolutely false. We have had multiple medical tests that prove otherwise." Patricia smiled condescendingly. "Dexter, dear, you do not need to keep up this charade. We all understand, and nobody blames you for your condition. We just think Amanda deserves honesty." I looked to Amanda, waiting for her to defend me, to confirm we had both been tested and found healthy. Instead, she looked down at her plate, and then slowly stood up. "Mom is right," she said softly. "I cannot keep living like this. I filed for divorce yesterday. The papers will be delivered tomorrow." The room spun around me as I processed her words. Not only had she failed to defend me, but she had already taken steps to end our marriage based on a lie. "You filed for divorce because your mother convinced you I am infertile despite medical evidence to the contrary?" I asked incredulously. Amanda's voice hardened. "I filed for divorce because I want children, and after 2 years of trying, it is clear that is not going to happen with you." As family members murmured their support for Amanda, a voice cut through the noise. "This is ridiculous." Jordan stood up, her face flushed with anger. "Aunt Patricia, you have no medical training. You have no right to diagnose anyone with anything. And Amanda, I cannot believe you would throw away your marriage based on gossip and speculation." The room fell silent, shocked by Jordan's outburst. Patricia recovered first. "Jordan, this is a family matter that does not concern you. It concerns me when you destroy someone's reputation with lies." Jordan shot back. "Have you even seen Dexter's medical results? Has anyone in this room besides Dexter and Amanda?" No one spoke. I could not bear another moment in that house. Without a word, I walked out, leaving behind the whispers and judgmental stares. To my surprise, Jordan followed me to the parking lot. "Dexter, wait," she called. "I am so sorry about what happened in there." I turned to face her, unable to hold back the tears that had been building. "My wife just announced she is divorcing me based on a lie, and her entire family believes it. How do I come back from that?" Jordan placed a gentle hand on my arm. "You do not come back from it. You move forward." We talked for hours that night, sitting in my car outside Patricia's house. Jordan revealed she had always admired how I treated Amanda, how I supported her career and dreams, how I was always kind to every member of the family, even when they were not kind to me. "Amanda does not deserve you," she said finally. "And you deserve someone who trusts you and stands by you." The divorce proceedings were as painful as I expected. Amanda, fueled by Patricia's continued influence, fought for a disproportionate share of our assets, claiming she needed financial security to start over and find someone who could give her children. My lawyer advised me to fight, but I simply wanted the nightmare to end. I agreed to a settlement that left me financially strained but emotionally free. The months that followed were dark. I threw myself into work, avoided social situations, and spent countless nights questioning what I could have done differently. Eventually, at Jordan's insistence, I started seeing a therapist who specialized in divorce and betrayal trauma. Dr. Marshall helped me understand that what happened was not my fault. Some people need someone to blame when life does not go according to their plan, she explained. Patricia needed a villain in her story, and you were cast in that role. Amanda chose to believe that story because it was easier than accepting that sometimes nature simply takes its time. Throughout my recovery, Jordan remained a steadfast friend. She checked on me regularly, brought me dinner when I forgot to eat, and gradually helped me rediscover the joy in everyday life. 6 months after my divorce was finalized, our friendship evolved into something deeper. "Are you sure you want to do this?" I asked her the first time she suggested we go on a proper date. "Your family might turn against you too." Jordan smiled. "Let them. I know who you are, Dexter. That is all that matters to me." Our relationship progressed naturally, built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding that had been missing from my marriage. After a year of dating, during a weekend trip to the coast, I proposed to Jordan on the beach at sunset. Her tearful yes healed parts of me I thought would be broken forever. News of our engagement reached Amanda and Patricia quickly. Amanda sent a terse congratulatory text that felt more obligatory than genuine. Patricia called Jordan to express her concern about her choice in partner, but Jordan stood firm in her decision. We had a small, intimate wedding attended only by close friends and my family. Jordan's parents came, having always been more reasonable than Patricia, but most of Amanda's family chose to boycott the event in solidarity with her. We did not care. The day was perfect in its simplicity and authenticity. 2 months after our wedding, Jordan woke me up early on a Sunday morning, her eyes shining with excitement. "Dexter," she whispered, placing my hand on her stomach. "I took a test yesterday, and again this morning to be sure. We are going to have a baby." The joy I felt in that moment was indescribable. I held her close, overcome with gratitude and love. A week later, during our first ultrasound appointment, we received another surprise. "Congratulations," the technician said, pointing to the screen. "There are 2 heartbeats. You are having twins." The pregnancy was smooth, with Jordan radiating health and happiness throughout. I attended every appointment, helped decorate the nursery, and read countless books on parenting twins. When Jordan gave birth to our son Thomas and daughter Lily, I wept openly as I held them for the first time, marveling at their perfect tiny features. Life settled into a beautiful, chaotic routine of midnight feedings, diaper changes, and overwhelming love. The twins were 6 months old when we unexpectedly ran into Patricia at the local shopping mall. Jordan was pushing the double stroller while I carried shopping bags filled with baby supplies. Patricia stopped in her tracks when she saw us, her eyes widening as she registered the twins. For once, she seemed at a loss for words. "Hello, Patricia," I said calmly, no longer harboring the anger that had once consumed me. "These are our children, Thomas and Lily." She stared at the babies, then at me, the implications clearly dawning on her. "They are beautiful," she managed to say, her voice strained. "I did not know you had children." "Yes," I replied simply. "They are 6 months old now." Patricia's expression shifted from shock to something resembling remorse. "Dexter, she began, but seemed unable to continue. "It was good seeing you, Patricia," I said, not unkindly. "I hope you are well." With that, Jordan and I continued on our way, leaving Patricia standing there with the truth she had denied for so long. A week later, I received an email from Amanda. She had heard about the twins from her mother and wanted to congratulate us. Her message included an apology acknowledging that she had been wrong to trust her mother over me and the medical professionals. "I should have stood by you," she wrote. "Instead, I let fear and pressure guide my decisions. I will always regret that. I am still single, still hoping for children someday. Seeing you build the family we once dreamed of with Jordan has been a painful but necessary lesson for me." I did not respond immediately. After careful thought, I sent a brief cordial reply thanking her for the congratulations and wishing her well in her journey. Some bridges once burned cannot be fully rebuilt, but forgiveness was an important part of my healing process. The greatest lesson I learned through this experience is that true love is built on trust, respect, and standing together against challenges, not placing blame when life does not go as planned. Real partnership means facing uncertainty together, supporting each other when the world seems against you. Today, as I watch my twins taking their first wobbly steps across our living room floor, Jordan cheering them on, with endless patience and joy, I realize that sometimes the most painful endings lead to the most beautiful beginnings. The family I have now is not the one I initially imagined, but it is more loving, more genuine, and more resilient than I ever could have hoped for. Life rarely follows the path we expect, but if we remain true to ourselves and open to unexpected possibilities, we often find ourselves exactly where we were meant to be all along. Have you ever experienced a painful ending that eventually led to something beautiful? Share your stories in the comments below. Do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that share button if this story resonated with you. Thank you for listening, and remember that sometimes the family we choose becomes more precious than the one we are born into.